2023 was a year where a lot happened. Now we're at the end of it and we've transitioned into a new year. It's time to look back and reflect. And that's what I'm going to do in this video. I'm going to talk about my top 10 favourite albums of the year. So sit back, relax and enjoy. Over to you, Ryan.
So, 2023, so many great projects this year. So many. Look at all this. Look at all this. To whittle this down was difficult, to be honest, because I've listened to a lot of great stuff this year and a lot of new stuff that I hadn't listened to before. So this was fun for me. This was different. I enjoyed it. So I'm going to do my honourable mentions now. There's 10 here, which is a bit much. I won't lie. My mate was like, why not just do a top 20? Because that's too much effort for me, because I have to write it and then edit it. And then on a time limit, because there's like a cut-off point where you can't do it anymore. It's like wishing somebody Happy New Year. Like there's a cut-off point. Like 2 weeks in, you can't really do it anymore, can you? Because it's been too long since 2023. So let's get into it. Let's do it. Wow, it's slightly purple. That's so cool. Look at you go, Ryan. My first honorable mention is actually Guts by Olivia Rodrigo, which is quite surprising for me because I wasn't expecting this. I liked Sawyer. I enjoyed it. It was a fun listen. But Guts is just so much more better. Her ideas taken from Sawyer and expanded upon greatly. And she creates a much more rounded and much more consistent project than she did with Sawyer. The album is incredibly fun, it's powerful at points, and it's incredibly catchy. And I find myself replaying it quite a lot, which I was surprised by. My favourite songs were Bad Idea Right, Ballad of a Homeschool Girl, and Vampire. What a fantastic song. I Haven't Got Black. That's very dark. Do that. There we go. The next one for me that's also quite a shock is Utopia by Travis Scott. I didn't listen to much Travis Scott until this year, but then I listened to Rodeo and I was like, damn, he's actually pretty good. Travis Scott's long-awaited return to music after his 2017 hit Astroworld was released this year, and Utopia to me delivered and is better than Astroworld. Hot take, I know, but I stand by it. This serves as an evolution of his style and is also one of the best hip-hop albums of the year. And if you haven't listened to it and you like that genre, what are you doing? Get on it. It's pretty good. My favourites were Hyena, Telekinesis, and Modern Jam. Day one Modern Jam defender here. West Side Gun. Oh yeah. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean.
Please don't do that again. I agree.
The Fly God comes back here and he delivers again with another absolute classic. So many qualities on here. More trap than soul than what he usually does. I more prefer the soul samples to his trap ones. But I still found enjoyment and I still enjoyed listening to this project thoroughly. His fantastic bars coupled with the inventive and creative beats create some of the best hip-hop tracks of the year, and I'd recommend a listen if you haven't explored it yet. My favourites are Mama's Primetime, Chloe, and Kitchen Lights. That's pink, that's not purple by the way, because this is different. This is Pink Panther. See what I did there? Did you see what I did there?
Good mouse. Oh my god! Wow! Oh my god!
Pink Pantheress, Heaven Knows, her long-awaited debut studio album, so good. Her sound, her style, it's so groovy, it's so funky, it's so fun, it's so catchy, it's so replayable. What else can be said? She delivers a classic here, a classic album. The pop sensation has delivered tenfold, and her unique sound and style helps elevate this album above others that have released this year. My favourites off the album this year were obviously Boys a Liar Part 2, True Romance, and the best to me was Ophelia. The next one is We Buy Diabetic Test Strips by Elucid Billywoods, aka Armand Hammer. Elucid and Billywoods come together so effortlessly here. They are so dynamic and so fun to listen to. They play off each other so well, and on these incredibly experimental but enjoyable beats, they create a great experimental hip-hop project that I would recommend giving a listen if you haven't yet, if that's the kind of thing that you're into. There's also an album that every time I listen to it, I take more away. And that's like That's good. That's a good trade deal for me. You know, take this, I get this. I like that. My favorites are there's a, these guys have long titles. When it doesn't start with a kiss, don't lose your job. And the best to me was woke up and asked Siri how I'm gonna die. That song's so good. I too love JPEGs.
Because I like JPEGs for the resolution, the color, everything about JPEGs I like.
The next one I think is quite an underrated one, which is surprising because this is a big band. Black Country New Roads, live at Bush Hall. They also took a major hit. One band member down, one pretty significant band member down. So they had to really go in a new direction with a new sound, and I think they did a great job. I can't lie. I love this album. I've had it on repeat since it came out. Some of the songs are classic BCNR. Is it as good as the Answer From Up There? No. Is it still great? Yes. If you liked Answer From Up There and you haven't listened to this, get on it. This is me recommended albums now. I'm just telling you to go and listen to them, even though if the six of you that have watched this, you might have already listened to them. So what am I doing? I don't know. My favourites were Up Song, Dancers, and the best was Turbine/Pigs. Devastating, but so good. I don't know what colour to pick for this one. I'm gonna go with this. I feel like that's a good colour for this one. One of the more underrated projects of the year. Why Does the Earth Give Us People to Love by Cara Jackson. More people need to listen to this. The debut from the singer-songwriter is so good and so enlightening. Cara Jackson comes onto this project and delivers easily one of the best melodic but also instrumentally diverse projects of the year, and it's incredibly slept on. And if you listen to this and start recommending people songs from this, how you're gonna look so cool amongst your friends. You're gonna look so cool. My favorites were No Fun/Party, Brain, and the best was Dickhead Blues. My final honorable mention. I do not have brown, surprisingly, so I'm gonna go orange. Let's start here. Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty turned up. The boat. He turned up and he was like, I'm gonna do something different, and that's what he did. And we got this, and it's so good. It's so good. He has got mountains of praise from this. This is one of the biggest albums of the year. There's no denying it, and he deserves all the praise he gets. You know, if you've went through this year and have somehow missed out on this project, how? And fix that. My favorites were Should I Be, The Black Seminode, and the best to me was Drive Me Crazy, because that is just the grooviest song of the year. Easily. But honorable mentions, they're done. That's the stuff done. I'm done this stuff talking in the head like this.
Stupid man. Keen Day viewers may have noticed that I did in fact not do 10 albums. I missed 2. So now I'm gonna rectify it. After the Magic by Paranol was a crazy listening experience, but a great one. I don't know how to describe this project. I don't know what they were saying, but I enjoyed listening to it. Every song is like a transcending experience. It's so amazingly produced and so phenomenal to listen to that I can't describe it through words, and I just recommend you go and you just take the time and enjoy it. My favourites on the Paranol album were Sound Inside Me, Wave Inside You, After the Magic, and We Shine at Night. And now, the actual final honourable mention is This Is Why, Paramore. Fantastic album, truly. One that has remained in my rotation and in many people's rotations since its release, which was quite early in the year. It has remained amongst the conversation for some of the best of the year, and rightfully so. And I'm not a major rock fan, but I really enjoyed this, and I would highly recommend giving it a listen because it's very good. My favourites on the Paramore album were Running Out of Time, Liar, and Thick Skull. Now I'm actually going to do the top 10, so here it is. Hello, back again, yeah. It's me. This is a few days after I did the honourable mentions because stuff got in the way. So this is now the top 10. Very quickly, just going to fly through it because this video is going to be long and I don't want it to be that long. So, okay. Number 10. The Depressive British Ginger Ninja. Not that one. Nope, not him. Get him out of here. I'm talking about Archie. I'm talking about King Cruel. He returns here with Space Heavy, which is possibly, to me, his best project to date. His melodic baritone vocals are just immense here, and the emotion he gives in every song is fantastic. This album is desolate, but also in a way fulfilling. And every time I go back to listen, it just gets better and better and better and better. Space Heavy, King Cruel. Very good. Give it a listen. My favourite songs are Seaforth, Tortoise of Independency, and the best to me is Seagirl. That Ravina feature on that song, it's just too good, man. Number 9. If you told me at the start of this year that this would be in my top 10, I don't know what I would have done, but I would have been surprised because Lana Del Rey, Did You Know That There's a Tunnel Under Ocean Boulevard, is fantastic. This to me seems like Lana really
Go ahead, you got it.
achieving the potential that she has. We know she can hit and release an album like this. Norman Rockwell does exist after all, but this is her best in my opinion. This project is amazing. It's just so fascinating, but also it's a phenomenal listen. And if you're skeptical of Lana and haven't listened to this, put your fears aside, go out, give it a listen. You won't regret it because it's very strong and powerful and very, very good. My favourites were Margaret, Lit the Light In, but the best is A&W. That song is so amazing. So amazing. Can we just all agree? Billy Woods, he's basically the king of underground hip hop right now. He released 2 albums this year. I talked about the other one earlier, but his collaboration with Kenny Segal, Maps. This guy needs to drop a map on how to make a great hip hop album for people that don't know how to do it because it's just phenomenal. Billy is so charismatic and playful here and fun to listen to, and his performances in every song is fantastic. Every feature delivers, and Kenny's beats are so good. He has a way of making Billy sound just amazing compared to other producers when he works with them. If you've missed out on such an impressive hip-hop project that's so consistent the whole way through, you got to give this a listen because it's great album. My favorite songs are Year Zero, FaceTime, and Soft Landing. Soft Landing is just so groovy. The Lord, he took Brockhampton, but he gave us group therapy in their place. I was mature for my age, but I was still a child. Group therapy number 7. What a fun, energetic, entertaining listen. It's funky, it's groovy, it's energetic, it's just got downright, out and out, back to back, banger after banger after banger. Group therapy crosses so many genres here, raps over so many different types of beats and makes it sound so new and fun. If you like crazy hip hop groups and you've somehow missed out on this, what are you doing? It's rare we get an album this diverse of this quality drop. And if am I not selling this well enough right now? My favourites were That's My Check, trunkpoppers.com, and Still Alive. Still Alive is an anthem. Could be a national anthem. It's that good. I've not grooved or danced or felt more energized by an album more this year than my number 6, which is Heavy Heavy by Young Fathers. Underrated. Listening to this is like a euphoric experience. This album's so, oh god. This project just has a feeling that not many other artists can really achieve like how Young Fathers do here. The grooves are infectious, the vocals are moving, and the feeling and the atmosphere around this album is riveting. Again, recommend a listen if you haven't, if you've somehow missed out on this fantastic project. Give it a go. My favorites are Drum, Geronimo, and Holy Moly. It's the top five. Yep, top 5. I love Genesis Owusu. Smiler with No Teeth is immense, and Struggler is just as good. When this was announced, I was excited. All the singles for this album were fantastic. It was evident that Genesis, he had developed a sound. Mr. Owusu had brought a different A game, a different level to this album, and it delivers tenfold, back to back to back, like the Group Therapy one, back to back to back to back, like all of these albums, just bangers, just the whole, as you're going down the list, just great song after great song. It's fresh, it's exciting, and there's not much like it this year. The songs are catchy and the album's filled with energy, and it deals with such interesting subject matter that I don't want to spoil. I just want you to listen to it. The way he focuses on it is really good. It's just really good, and that's why it's in my top 5. My favorite tracks were Leave the Light, Stuck to the Fan, and What Comes Will Come. Next one, this is the most surprising. Not that it's in the top 10, but I wasn't expecting it to sound the way that it does, and that's Quaranta by Danny Brown. A sequel to Danny's hit album 30, which I too am a big fan of. Who could have thought it? Are you surprised? I am. I'm so surprised about that. It's kind of a complete change from what he usually does. It's a more melodic Danny here, which I'm a big fan of. And I can't lie, this is the most recent release. This came out in December, and I have played this over and over again on repeat since it came out, and rightfully so, because it's great. Who could have thought it? The number 4 in my top 10 is really good, not me. Danny really reflects on his life and discusses a lot of different aspects of it here that are so interesting, and he goes into great detail about it and presents stories and aspects of his life in unique ways that only really he could. My favourite songs were Celibate, that Mike feature, Down With Me, and Bass Jam. Number 3. We had to wait a while. Oh! But wow, was it worth the wait? Lahai, Sampha. The guy just don't miss.
Don't miss, man.
He's good.
In the heat of battle, he don't miss.
No.
In the heat of controversy, he don't miss.
No.
Lahai, it's just gorgeous. I can't really think of a better word to describe it. Named after his grandfather, the project stands out with its fantastic production and his immense vocal performances, which is what is expected when you go into a Sampha album. The sheer amount of instrumentation used on every track, sometimes so subtly but effectively used, it's just wow. You know, I'm running out of words. I can't think of words to describe it, because just listen to it. That's all I gotta say. Because it's immense. It's really, really, really good. Sampha's voice as well, man, it's one of the best out there right now. If you're not on Sampha, you're an idiot. Sorry, someone had to say it. My favorites were Spirit 2.0, Only, and Suspended. Number 2, Javelin, Sufjan Stevens. There is no other artist out there better at communicating their feelings and emotions and their grief than Sufjan Stevens. This album is dedicated to his late partner, Everett Richardson, who sadly passed away. This makes the story and the emotions of the album that are captured that much more devastating and compelling. Despite its emotional focus, this album is breathtaking and gorgeous. It's huge and dramatic in all the right ways. Sufjan brings his lyrical power and grace to this project and elevates it among other albums of this year. That's why it's at number 2. The production is heavy but moving, grand scale in the right ways. If you're searching for a soft and powerful album that you can put on and just sit back and take in, there's no better project this year than Javelin by Sufjan Stevens. My favourite songs is Will Anybody Ever Love Me, Goodbye Evergreen, and Talk. Number 1. If you know me, this was going to be obvious, but if you don't, it wasn't going to be obvious. My favourite album of the year, Scare and the Hose, Volume 1, JPEG Mafia, and Danny Brown. This was inevitable. This was going to come. I have been a long time admirer and enjoyer of both Peggy and Danny, but this album sealed it for me and really made me just sit back and go, yep, I get it.
I get it. I get it.
Every single that they dropped was so amazing. The anticipation for this was like up here, and they went like up here. So go those guys. Peggy's beats are immense, creative, and unique. Danny's vocals, his performance in every track is amazing. JPEG Mafia is amazing on every track. They play off each other so well. Their chemistry is unbelievable. Every performance on every song is fantastic. Every beat is creative and fun. And this album, you keep listening to it, and it's like a drug. Like, you listen to it once and you go, that was good. Then you go back to a few songs, and then you go back and listen to the whole thing again. Then you go back to a few songs and you go back and listen to the whole thing again. I've just, ever since it came out, I've been listening to it over and over and over again, because it's just that infectious and that fun to listen to. A fantastic project, and arguably one of both Peggy and Danny's best work to date. JPEG Mafia, Danny Brown. My favourites were Kingdom Hearts Key, God Loves You, and Perfect. I say that I could be wrong. So that is it. That's my top 10 albums of the year. This might be my first video, or it might be another one. This could be the only YouTube video I ever make. So if you watch this, thanks for watching. What else did they do? Subscribe, follow my other social medias, and yeah, see you when I see you.